Reddit didn't go live, but I'll say indeed and greetings unto you, beloved Shannon. It's just me and you in this space right now. Thank you for keeping the space for me. I appreciate it. I can, like, unironically feel you in the space. Like it's a little bit melty. Reddit says no. Reddit says no. It seems, like my title for Reddit fortunately got copied before I went live, and it went something like, "Start saying yes to yourself." I think that's the way I typed it. Start saying yes to yourself. Yes. Yes. Second time's a charm. Skadoosh! Live on the Reddit. Look at this background today. Isn't that a shot? I don't know how it looks exactly on the Reddit. Hopefully most of it is in frame. It is beautiful though. Kind of looks like a tree just washing over me. But I'll say indeed and greetings upon you, beloved and holy friends. Thank you for joining me. For breathing the same air as me, for being on the same planet as I am, for being held down with the same gravity. I got this rush of information during my yoga session today. There's a pose called child's pose where your arms are stretched out in front and you have your forehead on the ground. And I was just imagining a bunch of people around the world doing it at the same time, and the earth almost like as an extension to our third eye. This big ball, like an eyeball can be as an extension to our third eye. And then by multiple people being in the downward dog posture at the same time, connecting to that same third eye, we're sharing the same third eye. I was like, yes. Okay, cool. Thank you for joining me, sharing this moment. I'm envious of your blue sky. Don't be envious. You're getting to experience it right now, Shannon. What a blue sky that is. Very blue indeed. Kind of bright. A few wispy clouds in the distance. Beautiful tree above me. Want to see the infinity symbol? Hey Jasmine, it's been a while, friend. Thank you for joining us. What a pleasure it is to have you in the space. It's cloudy here today. I hope it's beautiful at least. Or is it just like kind of like overcast cloudy type? Look at that. You see it? Whoop, whoop, whoop. As soon as I looked up, I was like, okay, Mr. Tree. Okay, I see the infinity. Fine, thank you very much. Okay, and you read it for infinity as well, huh? Fine. I'll show you as well. Look at that. Yoop, 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 yoop. Man, I feel so out of it today. I feel out of it, but at the same time very present. I mentioned to Ryan while we were starting our yoga session that I feel so calm. No, brain says thanks. Thank you, brain. Thank you, Javad, for joining me, Fred. It's such a pleasure having you here. I've been so calm. I feel like there's more reason not to be calm than ever. And I feel more calm than ever. Day 500 doing what? No supermarket. I appreciate you for thanking, friend. Oh, goodness. Oh, there he is back again. I appreciate you for I appreciate you for asking. I've been doing these streams. Today is day 512 technically, consecutively. I show up every single day for them. And today is day 512 of me showing up every single day for them. I do them as an opportunity for serendipity. If I wasn't here and you weren't here, then we would not have this exchange right now. We would not have this moment right now. But because I'm here and you're here, we get to have this exchange right now. So that's part of the reason. And then the other part of the reason is the fact that I believe that we can share love with one another. I feel like I've been given a mission. Whatever you wanna If you want to think of it in the context of a game, right? Like I was trying a bunch of the side quests, and all of the side quests kept giving me this burning anxiety that I'm not gonna get the loot drop that I was supposed to. Stretching this analogy a little bit. And then as soon as I started, running the main quest, what I'm doing right now, actually talking to people. Hallo mama, heb je dat gehad? Mag ga je? Hoe kom? Wat? Weer. Ra! Dis wat ek gaan sê in plaas van die E-woord van nou af. Ek's ernstig. My mom's gearbox of her car is wrecked again. And like I got to have this transmission today, and instead of saying the F word, to say raw instead. Raw, raw. Just one thing after another, huh? Sometimes. You think you got it figured out? How about shit breaks? How about that? Yeah. Thank you, universe, for teaching me these lessons again. What language is that? It's Afrikaans. No supermarket. It's Afrikaans, friend. Great consistency. Yeah. You know, like I don't do it for the consistency's sake. I do it because every single day that I ask myself, what is true, about my life, about what it is I want to do, about who I'm supposed to be, love comes back as my answer. And this what we're doing right now is such a beautiful transmission of love. We get to share with one another the brutal sides of being a human, like cars breaking down. And like that car has broken down so many times. And you know what happened? When they told me they were gonna buy this car, they were like, "Oh yeah, something's wrong with the gearbox." And I'm like, "Oh, okay. So we're not buying the car." "No, don't worry. This gearbox thing is just this big of a problem, and we'll fix the problem, and then it'll be a great car to drive." And I'm like, "Yeah, but the car is broken, so maybe we shouldn't buy it." And now it's broken down 5 times since or something, maybe 4 times. It's so funny to me because I trip out sometimes in this question of what is manifestation and what is prediction, what is intuition and what is seeing the negatives and stuff, right? And I've been warning my family about things for as long as I've, had a say. For like since I was 13, I've been advising my family against doing certain things, advising my family to do certain things. I strongly, and they're still sour about this, but I strongly advise my family to invest into crypto. Back in 2016, and they were like, "Nia, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what money is. You're just a 16-year-old." And I was like, "Okay, fine." And then my dad decided he's gonna start farming, and I was like, "Yeah, I get you, but when you're a farmer, you're at the whims of nature, you're at the whims of markets, you're at the whims of catastrophe and pests, you're at the whims of not getting rain. That's dangerous." And my dad was like, "I'm a mining engineer. I know what I'm doing." And then he did it. And then we got into an extreme amount of debt. Oh, like this. That's today's message as well. Like that is literally today's message. It's this one of God says yes. It's so crazy how we show up having already told ourselves no. Having already told ourselves no. Like instead of thinking of the possibility of something actually realizing the way that we thought they might, we show up having already told ourselves no. Having already created the story, having already reacted in ourselves in a way when we receive the negative news. And sure, you can prepare yourself and it can the blow can might be a little bit lighter if you're showing up having already told yourself no and then you get the no as an answer because you're like, "Oh, I knew it. I I intuited the fact that I was gonna be said no to." Or just maybe you were powerful enough to to like literally manifest that reality. And it's up to you to decide. That's the thing as well. I don't know what I'm talking about, man. I don't know what I'm talking about. But you do. You do know what I'm talking about, right? Like, and it's I don't have to be right. I don't have to understand what it is I'm saying, but you do know what I'm saying. And you've seen these things in your own life. And you've experienced how powerful your word is. And just realizing that if you are God, and I'm not saying you are, maybe a little anyway, if you are God, why do you keep telling yourself no? Hmm? Why? You're like, I want these things. No. I can't have these things. I'm just little me. Oh, I want to realize this thing in my life. No, I can't have these things. I'm not worthy. Oh, I want, a partner. No, I'm not lovable. Why do we keep telling ourselves no? Hmm? Like just asking ourselves that question. Like it's something that can really take you into like a trip. Like there's a lot of reasons for it as well, and the more you ask, the more answers your brain comes up with. Hey there. Oh, hi there. Thank you, Isaac, for joining us. Same here, Shannon. A nice cloudy day. I hope it's beautiful nonetheless. If I had a perfect memory, I'd love to go back and see how much I played a part in manifesting. Like I would love to know as well, Jovan. And I'm like trying to pay attention to manifesting the positive, and like let me give you an example where I noticed this yesterday. So my mom was spraying pans. My mom bakes, and she was spraying pans, and she was doing it inside. And she sprays these pans, and she goes into a coughing fit. And I watched this happening, and in my mind comes up this narrative of, you shouldn't be doing that. It's killing you, you know. And I'm like, I need to say this. This is important information to share. And then I stop. And I'm like, you can say this, and you might even be right. But is that going to serve your mom if she hears it right now? And I was like, nope, no, it will not. And I kept my mouth shut. Then it happened again later. And I was like, Mama, alsjeblieft, gaan spelen buiten, je weet. Ik wil heel als we moet openluchten, zal je het spijt. And she was like, and then she went and did it outside, fortunately. But it's just that, like trying to pay a little bit more attention to the words you use, to the things you say, and to think of it in this context of, if God says yes to whatever it is you say, what would you say? Right? Like that is the thing that I'm coming to you friends with today. Is just that understanding. If God said yes to whatever it is you say, what would you say? What have you been saying? Do you want to continue saying these things? My sister, who is 15, is driving the car. I wasn't allowed to touch the car until I was like 18 or something, but okay, veilig rij. My sister pulls out the car, rolls down the window, gives me the most terrifying smile I've ever seen in my life, and she's like, "We're gonna go down to the bottom part of the farm." Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like that's also one of the things that's beautiful with parents, is the younger kids, just have like infinite freedom. Oh yeah, sure. Why not drive the car as a 15-year-old? Why not? I mean, in America, like you get licenses at 16, but here in South Africa, we only get at 18. Anyway, if I had, okay, I put it in one. I love you all so much. I want to have a fish tank of all of. I want to have a fish tank of all of the copies you like the dentist girl from Nemo. That's fucking horrific. Goodness. I'm just like imagining like a small version of Mel. Like I'm imagining mad scientist Isaac, like brain so big that it's like protruding almost out of his skull. You can see like the little brain folds, on the outside. And he just like snatches a hair off of your head when you're not looking or something, clones you in a lab, makes a small little version of you, gives me a little scuba tank, a little wetsuit, and then drops me in a tank. And I'm just like, bruh, I'm not a fish. And he's like, don't. Please, dude. Please, my ears. He's like, no. Oh, goodness. We don't see ourselves as powerful as we are. It's easier to say no. It's easier to say whatever. It's easier to not pay attention to what it is we're saying sometimes. It's easy just to say whatever comes up as a gut reaction, as the initial, almost pre-programmed, almost archetypal, almost patterned, response so often. Isaac, we would download our consciousness into mini AI bots and trade them like baseball cards. Okay, now the fractal makes a little bit more sense. I do like the little AIs. Imagine how weird that would be. So now in this world, I'm imagining you literally collect your friends as little AIs, you know? And then if you really want to talk to your friend, this AI is loaded and it's like maybe continually updated with the things your friend might be saying in the world or might be experiencing. Oh goodness, this trip is, is expanding. And then you could just like take one of your friends out of its little box. I guess they would be sleeping if you're not using them. Maybe they would be like existential dread if they were conscious constantly. Oh goodness, I'm reading too much into this. And then you take them out of the box and you like put them down. You're like, "What's up, Melt? What's up?" And it's like, it would be so ridiculous, but it would be beautiful, man. I would have. Well, I mean, you have mentioned this before, Jovan. The little, mini Jovan on our shoulders, just hyping us up. So, like, I mean, maybe that's what you were talking about, but now I can completely see it actually. Good morning, melting fish friends, Titans, Frankenstein, and the head bald. How about LSD for breakfast? You're just like dripping LSD into the tank, and you're like, bro, please, can you stop with the LSD in our drinking water? I want to hear all of the fucked up shit you're gonna get up to. I want to be a dragon slayer. You already are, dude. You have slain dragons. Like, I can actually unironically say that I have slain dragons. I mean, it might have been in a virtual world, but I have slain dragons. I have been dragonborn. I have met many a person who have taken arrows to knees. Oh, which is against my morals, but I want to slay things. Why must I be built this way? Slay the darkness, Brother Bay. Slay the darkness as the dragon of our world. You know, and you can't slay the darkness by making more of it. You have to be the sword of light. Yeah. I'm investing in these bots straight up. Take all my monies. Imagine them being Meeseeks dragons, Isaac. There's a morality acceptable, maybe. Hi, I'm Mr. Dragon. Look at me. Look at me. Just like, why do I have this visceral urge to murder that dragon? It's like, oh, that's what they're there for. We're like, what? Yeah, they just want to be murdered, and they're extremely annoying. So you want to murder them as well. That's true. I've absorbed many of the souls from many dragons in my 11 years of Dark Souls. Yes, multiple dragons have been slayed by you, Isaac. You can channel that energy knowing that it's been done. How long do you plan to do this? 5,000 days? So like you take an 8 days, and then you let that 8 go to sleep. It's like a little infinity symbol. That's how long I plan on continuing. I thank you for showing up. I thank you for showing up with me. Thank you, Molly. WTR. I don't know what that means, but I appreciate the love, friend. Maybe you were like, what the fuck? That could work as well. Take a breath and roll with it. That's the only way, Miss Mouse. That really is the only way. And I'm not going to perpetuate negative feelings. I mean, it's something so trivial, even though I know it's something that devastates my mom right now. A gearbox breaking. It's such an inconvenience, while at the same time being so stupid to me. I'm like, oh, gearbox, oh no, fucking engineering. Germans thought they were, gonna be clever, selling Audis all over the world. God says yes, Melt. My mom's car is actively getting fixed right now. Yes, there's little nanobots manufacturing new parts out of thin air. I mean, can they? No, they cannot. They're manufacturing parts out of materials they're mining from the earth right now. Oh, there we go. That makes more sense. Okay. They're sanding down any little bits of resistance. They're making sure everything is smooth, making sure the oil is exactly right, making sure freaking yes, all of it. Yes, please. Nanobots, go fix it. Thank you, nanobots. Suddenly the atoms are starting to respond. It's like, what? Why do we have consciousness suddenly just starts manufacturing things out of nothingness? Am I pushing it a little bit? Manifesting, manifesting. Yes, for everything. Yes, for love. Yes, for growth. Yes, for abundance for this world. Yes, for safety. Yes, for peace. Yes, for understanding of one another. God says yes. I haven't read something worth saying just yet. Let's see if it's going to be something good. Maybe it's something going to be like really applicable. Realize that you are in a school in this very moment. Mm, yes, I am. Class is in session, and I'm trying to pay attention. Problem is, life's lessons are so subtle. You know, they they'll teach you over and over again, and unfortunately, the subtlety of it kind of falls away when life has to teach you the same thing over and over again. Like life gets impatient with us as well when we don't say yes. Life is like, I didn't really ask. I was more suggesting. And it would be highly advisable for you to actually listen to what I'm suggesting. Y'all got this lemon cookie soy candle. Smells like a dang gum lemon drop goodness. Mm. Dude. I mean, like lemon oil. Is it lemon oil? Lemongrass oil is like one of my favorites as well, dude. Like it's also such a masking scent, so it can go well with pretty much everything. Oh, whoa. Okay, yeah. Step on me, lemon. What the fuck? Like, I mean, lemon grab comes to my mind when I hear you talking about lemons. Like, unacceptable! Absolutely unacceptable! Splits himself in half, eats his other half, eats everyone in his kingdom, turns himself into pebbles. I mean, like, so many fractals comes up when I hear lemon. That sounds lovely. Unacceptable. There we go. There it is, Isaac. I knew it. Afrikaans. I thought it would be more similar to Dutch, but I couldn't understand a word of it. Yeah, it's similar, but it's not the same. If I spoke really slowly, but I even have a hard time speaking slowly in English. So, like, if I spoke slowly in Afrikaans, you might be able to understand me. Lemon grab is an entire nightmare fuel in my mind. I don't know if he's nightmare fuel to me. He's more like a visceral call to awareness. He's like, look at this. Ooh, what the fuck? Do you want to be this? And I'm like, not sure I do. So he is a character. I mean, like I think he is voiced by. Come on. He is voiced by Rick and Morty's creator, Mr. I can hear you screaming at me. Yeah, yeah. Okay, more. More. I'm getting closer to it. Yes. Scream harder. Say more. Yes. Uh. No. Doesn't want to come back to me. Justin Roiland. Thank you. I was totally me. Yes. Definitely did not get help by Jovan. No. I would never admit something like that. Justin Roiland. Thank you so much. You played a character in that. You even played a character in. I've forgotten that show's name as well. Names today. I'm so calm that my brain is just like names. Names for who? Names for what? Gravity Falls. There we go. Thank you for the name. You played a character in Gravity Falls as well. I love him so much. His voice is beautiful. Where do you think ideas come from? Like there's this weird theory that ideas are almost like entities within the divine mind, and then certain entities that are mind has the ability to has the ability to tune into that mind. It's almost like you can be a Pippius standing in front of the wheels. God says yes. She is trying to learn how to keep herself safe. Yes. When he vomits in the hot tub, I freaking die. I'm guessing that is the like Lemongrab you're talking about right now. I don't think I've seen all of his scenes, but I've seen a few of them. Did you watch Solar Opposites? Yes, I have. Yes, I have. I feel animation is one of the most beautiful storytelling mediums at this point in our existence, just because of the amount of freedom of expression that you have in that medium. It's a way to tell stories and kind of elicit certain parts of our humanity in a way that you can't exactly do it with normal movies. Terpillus, thank you for joining us, friend. Again, it's such a nice having. It's such a nice thing having you here. Why can't I words right now? Hmm. Okay. I mean, I asked the question, and the answer that came back to me is like you're being overtly aware of what it is you're saying. And I'm like, yeah, I guess that is why I'm having a hard time wording. Fighting off my own insecurities are a daily battle, and I'm not sure why, Jasmine. Here I am, facing the exact same thing. There are so many positive things for me to focus on, to think about, and yet I can expect the worst, waiting for the sky to fall. Jasmine, it's a constant, as you're mentioning, it is literally a daily battle. It is the battle you're fighting, and you can fight that battle in so many ways, and the way that I fight that battle is by showing up to the battle instead of just being like, oh, guess I'm defeated, lays back down. I'm like, I'm gonna go and fucking show up against this insecurity I have in myself. I'm going to go and put myself in a position where I have to grow. I'm gonna do exercise. And if I don't show up for that exercise, then I don't have the opportunity to grow. So defeating that insecurity in that way, in my food choices, in how much I'm sleeping and how much water I'm drinking, all of these things are you showing up against that insecurity because you give your insecurity less like structure to stand on. You're saying yes less to your insecurities, and you're saying yes to the part of yourself that can transcend them. So, Jasmine, we're learning together. Thank you for allowing me a teaching moment. Not only the fact that I might be teaching you something, but the fact that you're teaching me and me trying to teach you. Like, you cannot teach something without learning it yourself, right? There is no separation between teacher and student. You are both. You have been teaching others, you have been learning from others your entire existence, and it's going to continue that way. And thank you for joining us, my man, for joining us in the Melt fan. Love you, Brother Bear. So great having you here. Uncle Becker's joining us as well. How cool. Thank you for joining us, Brother Bear. How are you doing? Are you at work today? Gonna have a day off? Go let us know. I'm curious about your fractal. Yes, to be honest, I don't see myself going back. I'm using the extra time to apply to a fully remote gigs. It's a shame because I like my job for the most part, but I live in New York City and COVID. Dan, I actually have been like kind of burning to ask you, do you want to continue living in New York City? Puppy is making sounds as I ask that question. Mm. Do you want to continue living in New York City? Is it something that serves you? Especially if you're going to be working remote gigs. Why not move to the countryside, making sure you have a stable internet connection? It melt easier said than done. I know. And yet, you can do it. We can all do it. We just have to give ourselves the time. We have to give ourselves the time, right? Like I'm not saying like right now, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. We still have a lot to live, and we get so caught up in the next few days, the next few weeks, the next few months that I feel thinking of things in the context of infinity, even thinking of things in the context of the next 10 years, things will change so much that we cannot even fathom who we'll be in 10 years. And yet, I feel that not knowing, that absolute flabbergasted, mind melting imagination of where we'll be in 10 years with our technology, with our humanitarianism, with our food, with our access to energy, with our access to the internet and what the internet's going to be. Like there is going to be It's going to be a whole new world once again. And we're building that world right now. And we can build ourselves, we can equip ourselves to be more in tune with that world when it comes. These little flies. You know, I feel like maybe I've killed like 50 of them at this point, where they keep crawling up. Bro, please. They keep crawling up my shirt. You know, and that's no more flies will fly up my shirt. When the flies fly towards me, there will be a force field that they'll hit, and it will suddenly divert their direction, channeling them to a new space in which they'll be safe, in which they can have babies and sip on fermented fruit juice. They'll be protected by not landing on me. This I say yes to. Okay. Choosing to change your reactions, yelling love instead of fuck, proves patterns can be changed. You walk the walk, Ms. Mouse. That's what I'm trying to do. Like, and it's raw, raw. You know, and it's a powerful sound, raw. And it feels, it's like, I mean, like the, as you mentioned, right? Like yelling love. Technically, that word is supposed to elicit the imagery of lovemaking, and that is a very visceral part of our humanity. It's a very true part of our humanity, so it's powerful just in the word that it kind of like uses. So instead of using that word because it has this connotation, to just use the power of our word in and of itself. And ra is one of those sounds that can be very visceral, very powerful in and of itself. Wise people aren't wise without experience and struggle. That's true. That's the only way we learn, technically. I was talking about Jake in the Prismo episode. Oh, okay. Yeah, the Prismo episode was pretty lit. Like, Prismo, I feel is you, weirdly enough, Isaac. Instantly. You know, that archetype kind of feel got made, and I think you might feel the same. Wise people aren't about Shannon dropping bombs, spitting on the track, straight up throwing. And you get to see like a Pippi cam on the YouTube as well, where she's just like doing something. And as soon as I talked about her, she was like, "What? I'm not doing things." Wat maak jy, Pippi? Pippi, wat maak jy? Wat maak jy, Pippi? Krap jy in die gras? Mag jy dit doen nie? Jy kan nie die gras krap nie. Wat maak jy? Wat maak jy, Pippi? Thank you, Shofad, for sending love to our beloved friends. So much love to you. I do that sometimes. Please, please. How do you feel right now, Shannon? I wonder if you're tired. I work in the tech industry in order to afford New York City. But yeah, for a startup like my company, it's basically impossible for them to protect us from COVID, and I just can't take on that personal risk for any job. Absolutely not, dude. Like, you're worth more than your health. You know, like that. Your health is worth more than anything else. And that's the real paradox of the current society we live in. Because we're almost like running people into the ground to damage their health, and then we pay exorbitant amount in our medical systems and our insurances and our sick days and all of that nonsense to almost make up for this damage that we've done instead of just fixing the problem from the roots. And we are. It is happening. Ready for this 3-day weekend. I freaking knew Uncle Becky was gonna have a 3-day weekend. Ideas are just thoughts with an emotion attached to them. Mm, ideas are just thoughts with emotions attached to them. Like, my initial reaction is no. But you know what, Uncle Becky? Yes. Yes. Yeah, as that too. That too. That's an idea. Like, that is an idea, right? And there was emotions attached to it. So yes, actually yes. I feel like I resonate so much with the Prismo episode because I feel like the interaction of Jake and Prismo is very much the inner conversation within myself. I think that's actually one of the episodes that made it to a folder. I don't think I've gone that far, but I've been taking episodes that I feel are very significant and putting them in a folder, and I think the Prisma episode might be one of them. I don't know. I'm surprisingly not tired as I thought I'd be today. We'll see how it goes as the day goes on. Head feels clear. Oddly enough. I've also been playing with hand postures. Yeah. Oh. Apparently, all of them have some sort of ancient power. And if anything, the way I'm thinking about it again, instead of trying to elicit or give the actual hand posture any power, you can think of it as putting your hands in certain postures requires you to use your brain in a certain way, right? Like there's a certain pattern of fractals that get elicited to do certain things with your hands. And in doing so, you're basically eliciting the same patterns, the same fractals that have been elicited before within our humanity. And then this by woo woo, right? Like you can say this is woo woo or not. You basically elicit that parts of your DNA because all of humanity is within you. All of that information is coded into you in your epigenetic code. So, like thinking of hand postures in a way to elicit that stuff instead of that energy seals or magic in and of itself. I mean, what's not magic though? So pumped for you, Shannon. Don't question the flow of energy. Use it when you have it. Store it when you're low. It will never run out, friend. There is no correct amount of action. I love that so much. Hmm. Man, I'm feeling. I'm feeling. How about you, Fred? How are you feeling right now, Insomniac? How are you feeling, Dan, Jovan, Uncle Becky, Terpillis? Any of you friends, please do let me know how you're feeling. It's better for a story to be pure fantasy, or should it mean something real? The thing is, with anything meaningful, its creation is driven by a depth of emotion that gets harder and harder to find in ourselves. What a beautiful message that is, Insomniac. Just as like a story in and of itself. Was your story fantasy, or does it mean something real? And you can technically look at it from both places, where I can be in this position of Pepe, she has a dead bird that she was just carrying, but it was like dead bird carrying, and the dead bird was like holding its plane, as in it's been dead for a while, and it's probably filled with like, oh yeah, just stuff that I don't want close to me. So Pepe, nah, 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 nah. She's left it alone though, but feels like she's trying to manipulate me into getting back to it. So I'm gonna pray. Thank you. I'm just a bit sleep deprived, so yeah, you got this. You got this, Shannon. So like what I wanted to say, Insomniac, like I can go into this narrative of that's your story and it's pure fantasy and it's not applicable to me. Or I can try and be the one that actually elicits the meaning, right? The something real out of a creation. And I feel that is technically what all creation does as a medium, where it provides space for you to feel things. And that's what I do with my art as well right now. Like I'm not pretending like my works of art, the flowers that I make for you friends are, game changing in their creative ability or in the amount of effort that I have to expend into making my works of art, but it elicits the same moment. And I got to share my works of art with a friend yesterday. I sent him my complete 1 to 9 sequence of the last 9 sequence, and the amount of love I heard coming from him to just have that, and comparing that to today's works of art and the amount of art that we have, and it's that, like you are the one that elicits the meaning from things at the end of the day. So I feel we shouldn't get too caught up in the details, Insomniac. If anything, just allow ourselves to experience and say yes to those experiences instead of trying to ask why with the experiences. Yes, I do want to stay in New York. How come? I'm just curious, Dan. I'm just curious about the cost of living, technically. Living in the city allows me to be close to other people. Ah, that's true. That's why I wouldn't want to leave. Plus, there's so much to do here. I get that. Like big city life, right? Big city life. I'm trying to get back. So, I mean, it's popular, and I enjoyed it as well. And I'm going back to the city now to live with Christian for a little bit, but it's a lot. It is a lot, but I feel like maybe if anything, you're drawn to that space to do your work, Brother Base. So thank you for being willing to. Insomniac, whoa, that takes me deep. I can dive into that one. I did. I tried to as well, Jovan. I hope it was driven into as deeply as I could have. Like maybe I could have gone even more, but I felt it. I felt it genuinely. Living in the city allows me. Lots so much to do. I'm working today. Just got done with a stream, but then a 3-day weekend. Okay, okay, okay. Thank you so much for the bay. I hope it's a good day for you at least. Hmm. A 3-day weekend. It's coming for all of us, friends. Saying it like it's something ominous. Oh, the 3-day weekend. It's coming for all of us. Yeah, yeah. Like a lot of countries are actually, testing the 4-day work week right now, and most of the results are extremely positive. People are more productive in the time they are working. They don't take a hit to their bottom line, and they're more willing to do it that way because they would rather have their off time as a whole day instead of trying to take breaks, during their workday, doing whatever, right? Like distracting ourselves. So that's coming. That's definitely coming. I can't do naps. Oh, wait, I think I missed it a little bit. What? How? How do I miss that? What? Take me nappy pop. Faction. There we go. These little flies are getting so wrecked. I'm so sorry, little flies. I'm so sorry. But every single one of you will die if you touch me. Yes. Please. Save yourselves. Please. I'm gonna keep asking them until another fly never dares to land on me again. It's like instantly gonna just like see this aura of extreme danger. It's gonna be like, oh shit, warn everyone in a 10 billion mile radius. That dude will melt you if you touch him. Please, please hide your kids. don't touch him. He can touch you though. Try to do so lovingly. Like if I could have a little fly, and I've saved flies out of my water as well. Just don't touch me, bro. Please, please. My skin lets me know that there's danger. It's a reaction technically. It's an instinct for me to murder you. I don't want to. I'm feeling bad sometimes. I do feel bad. Like I think about it in the implications of consciousness. Like that fly still is the exact same consciousness that I am, right? It's like, oh, I am fly. Flies around, lands on things, eats food. It has desires. It wants to procreate, and if it doesn't, they become depressed, and they literally drown their sorrows in alcohol or ethanol, fermented fruit. Literally, the flies do that. Go look it up if you don't believe me. They'll drink alcohol if they fail at mating. So these dudes are like straight up beings. They exist and they know they exist. They get depressed about not getting laid, and then they drink because of that depression. Like that is too real, dude. That is way too real. And yet they land on me, and then that consciousness ends. And it breaks my heart because I don't want to make your consciousness end, little fly. I don't want to be that. But you say yes to death by landing on me. It is his choice at the end of the day. It is his choice. So I guess I do not have to feel bad. God says yes in that way as well. Am I tripping out too much about this? Maybe a little bit, but it's this it's this willingness to really look at things as deeply as I possibly can instead of trying to just make things less than they are, to be like, oh, it's just a fly, right? It's just a something something, when everything, the most ordinary is the most beautiful, is the very thing that it is we're here for. Like looking at a leaf, looking at the little, fractals the leaf makes to reach all parts of its infrastructure to give it food and to be able to channel information, food, and energy through that little leaf system. Like it's there is so much complexity and intricacy and beauty in the most mundane of things. And I don't want to be taking away from any of it as well, right? Like I sometimes imagine what it would be like if you could live, if you had like a movie, right? Like would it be a popular movie? Maybe pose the question in this way: would it be a popular movie, maybe like a 3D experience, where you find yourself in the body of a fly, and then you do fly things? You know, you need to eat food, and like in this experience, you would be able to enjoy things as well, right? Like so, if your little fly eats food, maybe you get to like eat a few berries or whatever. I don't know how you could like create a feedback loop, but you do get the point I'm trying to make. And would it be a beautiful experience? Would it be an experience worth having? And I feel yes. I feel in that way every single experience is worth having. Otherwise, it wouldn't be there being had right now in this moment by you, by all of us. Whew. Saying yes to the experience. On a visceral level, you've said yes to this experience, the experience of life, the experience of existence, the experience of gravity, the experience of breath, the experience of forgetting. That one's a big one. Oh, goodness. I almost forgot it. The experience of forgetting. You know, what an odd choice that is. To know so much, to experience so much of the infinity that you choose to forget it. You choose to pretend to be something so much less than that. And it's beautiful. Makes you kind of question why it is we want to know everything sometimes, when knowing nothing in and of itself is literally the experience the everything came up with. All right, yeah. This scarf is so cool. Thank you, Luna. It's a gift from a friend. He lives in Zimbabwe. He doesn't talk to me, but I do think about him a lot, and I know he thinks about me as well. You know, he has this thing that he'll say, and I don't know if it justifies why he doesn't text me back, but it does make sense to me. And he'll say that texting is the last resort. That's the words he uses. Texting is the last resort. Like that, I only text you if I can completely not feel you, right? I completely miss you so much that I can't elicit the response of you in my mind. And then I guess I'll text you so I can get this feedback for who you are again, and then having that perpetuate. And he's very in tune as well in that way. But I still would like to know that he's okay sometimes. I would like to know what he's up to. I would like to know that he's trying. He's showing up for himself. But God says yes. You know, even to experiences that is the opposite of what it is we think we want. Yeah. Mm. I'm trying to imagine what he's up to, trying to see it. He's living in a weird part of the world as well. He's living in Zimbabwe. Like I think South Africa is weird sometimes, but this dude is like smack dab in the middle of Africa. I hope he has friends. Like I know he's online a lot, but I hope he has friends on that side. Much love. Thanks for taking all of this energy on. How brave to be able to open to the world. Critical mix. You're being just as brave, friend. There you are, open to the world. I can see you now. I know there's a being who just said, thank you for taking all this energy on. And the fact that you can see, the fact that you understand, just means that you're doing the exact same. You're doing the exact same thing, friend. And I get to see you in the same way. So thank you. Critical mix. Thank you for doing the work as well. Fuck yeah, the ruling class, agreed melt, the yeah, like these fur flies, you know, and I feel them every single time. I can feel the little dead body rolling down. Ooh, what's up here? Ooh, there's something up here. Look at this great expanse of a human back. Getting eaten by the grass and the worms now, dude. I mean, now I'm a worm. Ooh, look at this meal. Yum 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 yum. Eats worm. Eats little fly. I'm so sorry. I mean, there we go. There we go. New consciousness and shift. Day 512 of what? Showing up like this, friend. I haven't finished your comment just yet. The Borges, the bourgeoisie, the bourgeois. I don't know if that's the way you say it. Has no respect for its laborer. There is no ethical labor under capitalism. I mean, there is some ethical labor under capitalism, right? Like it's labor that is voluntary. Like if you're working because you want to work, you are being compensated for your time in a way that you feel is acceptable. You have access to medical services so you know you're going to be safe. Your children are going to be taken care of. Your, stability as a householder might be, secured, and you can then work as a contributing member to society, and you're being compensated for that work again, in a way that is acceptable to you and fair. Then I feel, there is an ethical way. Like there are ethical ways to do it. It's just right now we're trying to scale at mass instead of realizing we have enough as it is. Instead of trying to instead of making it bigger, making it bigger tall, we should make it bigger wide. Right? Like instead of like stacking these consumers into like one country by like taking these infrastructures that we're trying to like expand on right now and spreading it out into the rest of the world so that more people can have access. Neuropathy simulation. Is that what we're doing right now? I'm not exactly sure, Molly. Thank you for the love, though. Interesting, yes. I'm thinking about death in this. The bird. Thinking about death is good, friend. Like there's a recommendation by Buddhists, for example, that recommends that you go and contemplate death as the first thing in your day. The very first thing you do is you contemplate death. You acknowledge that one day you will die. And then you notice how that makes you feel. What that means to you, what it means to you in this moment, what it means to you in 10 years, 20 years, 100 years, 1,000 years, a million years. Right? When we contemplate our death in these time frames as well, Marcus Aurelius said something very beautifully where he he like mocks the chase of fame or the chase of wealth or the chase of quarrel, like trying to uplift yourself above someone else for the sake of some sort of social reason. And he does so in this context of we're going to die one day as well. We're going to die and we're going to be consumed by the infinity. And yet these moments that we're sharing right now were exactly as significant, as beautiful, as present as he was in his moments as well. And that all we have is this moment. Death is just this moment changing. And I wanted to say this moment ending, but I don't think it ends. I just think it changes. This moment is something that's ever present. And it's good to contemplate death and that alongside with it. So thank you, Insomniac, for giving me opportunity to. But surprisingly, this year I've had like zero allergies. Normally, a few times a year, my eyes get swollen or I get hives. Me too, Isaac. And I've also not gotten any allergies again. But this year, nothing. I think I've been pounding the raw, a local honeycomb. I'm happy that you're doing that as well. So you're giving your body the information actually to gain that immunity, familiarity with your allergens. I don't do naps. It really messes with my sleep at night. Plus, I just get so much to do that no one is going to do. No one else is going to do. I feel you, Shannon. Thank you for like getting it done. Valida, I tune in and the first words I hear is infinity. Oh, surprise, surprise. Melt is talking about infinity again. Fucking crazy person. Wipe that fly goose stuff of the grass to feed it nourishment. Good work, no more feels bad. Yeah, exactly. There goes another one. There goes another one. Like I think like someday there'll be a tally, where I killed like 22 of them during one stream or something. Like dudes, I'm like a worm right now eating your dead carcass. Please stop. Please stop doing. Melita. So much love to you, friends. Thank you for joining me again, Melita. I've been thinking it's a level of balance, Eshofan. Adding some creativity leaves room for imagination, which promotes growth of consciousness. So sprinkle the stories of interpretation of truth, meaningfulness, and intention. Mm, I completely agree. Thank you for that, Jovan. I'm a high energy person, Melty. The city suits me. I feel you, brother day, and I wasn't trying to like, I was just thinking about what you said as well. And I think you might have said it at the same time that I said it. Cost of living in the middle of New York City. Like it's bonkers. It's so bonkers. But if you're as you're mentioning a high energy person, you might not actually be in your apartment for a lot of your time, or you might not be in your living space for a lot of the time. You might be out and experiencing life in that way. But like I tend to be a person that needs the solitude. I do consider myself an extroverted person, but only by choice. I My extroversion is in direct relation to how much introversion and introspection I do as well. Balance, do a headstand, not just now. Thank you, legitimate people, for the encouragement though. Flies are the biggest piece of douches ever. Yeah, it's just the boundaries thing, legitimate pickle. Like if someone came into your house and was like, sitting on stuff and like licking the walls and pooping on it, and like wherever he was like walking, he was like leaving pads of bacteria. I just be like, no, dude, please never come back to my house. And we can do the same thing with our mental health. We can do the same thing with our boundaries of the things we share, the things we allow people to say to us, and these little flies, in the same way, just do not have the boundaries. And unfortunately, they put themselves in danger. Let me just say that way. I have a lot of flies in my home. Man, the sun is like straight up wrecking my eyes right now. Maybe if I don't look directly at it, there's like red light flying into my brain or something. Yes, yes. Suddenly it's legit easier. I have a lot of flies in my home. Never have before. Every time I see or hear one, I think of you. Hmm. I'm not sure how I feel about that, Miss Mouse. Miss Mouse. What a trippy. I just realized that your name has the double M's as well. But, Molly, the thing that I'm thinking about is if you're thinking about the fly and it creates usually a sense of tension or irritation, the fact that you're thinking about me, maybe I'm eliciting a good response with hearing of the flies. So, hmm. hmm. Yeah, I'm thinking about life and death, that it's real. It is as if there is something that we know and don't want to face. Maybe I can see that being articulated through some creepy nightmare skinwalker situation or something. See, this is the mind I have to deal with. Insomniac, I deal with these things as well occasionally, friend. For me, I don't think of it as like mind. What did you say? Creepy nightmare skinwalker situation. I think of it more as consciousness being experienced through nature. So almost creepy skinwalker nightmare, but more the I within embodiment. You know? It's like the fact that the fact that you are experiencing an experience right now is the consciousness. But you are experiencing it, and that experience being made possible by the nature, right? So you as body, you are that nature. But the thing that you actually are is the consciousness. You're both at the same time. And it can be like a sense of dissonance. And for some reason we don't want to accept that parts of ourselves because it's not exactly evolutionarily advantageous, or at least it wasn't evolutionarily advantageous to realize that you are one, because then if you die, you're going to become a part of that which you are in the same way the flies are. So, like, there is no separation. And then because there's no separation, there might not be as much of an incentive to take care of the consciousness, right? Like, that consciousness has to be aware of a story, and that story is in support of you continuing existence. So, if anything, your ego would be the skinwalker. Your ego would be the skin within which the you that you are walks. And that ego, if that ego is the skin, then the nature is the thing within which the skin is. And then you are that. Like, it's a whole trip, dude. I know, Insomniac. And it's kind of paradoxical, and it's mind melting in all of its ways, but it is beautiful to recognize that we're more than just these pieces of nature. I like it, Insomniac. It's feeding my imagination, making me stop and ponder. Me too, Siobhan, and I'm loving it. You are loved. Your mind is beautiful, Insomniac. Glorious day, Melton Moore. To you as well on B. Thank you for joining us. Miss Dabs joining us as well. Love to you, friend. Hope you have a wonderful day. So much love to you as well. Thank you for that, Miss Mouse. Emma is loaded up in the charter bus with all of her stuff and they're doing a playthrough before they hit the road to Austin for the weekend. They're doing a playthrough before they hit the road. Like, the initial fractal that came up in my mind is that they're pretending like they're gonna load the bus and then they're gonna sit in the bus in preparation for when they're gonna load the bus and sit in the bus. But I don't know. I hope I don't know. Please tell me, please correct me if I'm wrong. Comedy Goot, thank you for joining us, man. It's so nice to see you, brother there. Hope she has a blast. Definitely. Capitalists provide capital, which on its own has no value. Laborers add value to that capital while taking the smallest portion of the profits created by the labor. Again, all labor under capitalism is exploitative by nature and unethical. I hear the point you're making, brother Dan, but you just mentioned, right, taking the smallest portion of the profits created by the labor. So if that wasn't the case, then it wouldn't be exploitative by nature or unethical, right? It's more a shifting of values than it is a complete shift of ideas, right? Like, the idea in and of itself makes sense, like having competition can serve the individual and can serve the consumer, but it has to be in a way that it's not trying to serve the consumer at the cost of the consumer. Like, we're not utilizing people in the way that we are right now in order to serve the people, to damn the people, and to damn the people we're serving. Like, I feel like that's the current model, and that is, as you're saying, highly exploitative and unethical. Her Uncle Shmeki, who's this now? Tell me something good, Mr. Meltmore. What is good? The ability to breathe right now in this moment, the ability to feel my very hands, the ability to know that I'm secured and supported and so solid on the earth right now, supported by gravity. The beauty of the sun setting and blasting my brain with red light. Did you know that red light penetrates your skin, penetrates your bones? That red light that's shining on my forehead is actually going into my brain right now. How about that for something good, Coach Mackey? Thank you for the all seeing upvote and for the love, Sorry. Suddenly my brain melted with all of the love I was getting. I feel like I'm in love with you. Man, how could you say something like that, Auntie? Don't you know? Don't you know Uncle Becky was like just in check? So much love. Thank you for the starstruck as well. With the halls of silver approval, your friends are melting me. Bye, Felicia. Hey, Lane was here. I'm officially graduated. Goodbye, high school. Dude, Lane, you're gonna look back on these moments. You're gonna be like, what the fuck? You're gonna be like, what the hell? I was in high school at one point of existence. You're gonna be like, what? Why? I'm so happy I'm not in high school anymore, dude. Thank you for sharing it. So much love to you, Lane. I hope it's beautiful, brother Bear. Woohoo! Yeah, you are. Bye, Felicia. See you never high school. See you never high school, dude. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy that I never have to do high school again. Oh goodness, dramatic, like straight up trauma. I think about high school sometimes, and I'm like, I'm afraid to tell him. I'm afraid I have to tell him he's got to know his competition so duel can take place. I mean, I like instantly I saw Uncle Schmecky, with his cowboy hat. Like I see like just an inverted, like the whole negative image frame, same clothing, but like patterned, same boots, same double 45, revolvers. That's a big fucking guy. That's way big, way bigger than you need, but big guns, and then just like Uncle Schmecky versus Uncle Becky. Who will win, friend? Let it give us your vote in the comments. Congratulations, late. Congratulations indeed on the day. I'm afraid I have to tell him he's got a bad booper. I love weed. I mean, if you love weed and you do it with intention, it can be very beneficial. Lane, thank you, thank you. You deserve it, brother bear. I hope it's beautiful. I smile, catch and release the fly, the shit. Flies. What? Thank you. Thank you, Molly, for the love. More love? More starstruck? More all seeing upvotes. Thank you, brother bear. Thank you so much. Excited. Much, much nicer take note. I'm happy that you feel it, friend. We're here together, dude. You sharing what you're sharing allows me to share what I'm sharing. And in that way, we're literally creating this experience right now. You're just young, dumb, and broke. We still got love to give. Young, dumb, and broke. Oh, I'm young. No, I'm not actually. No, I am wealthy. I am abundant. I am I am of infinite age. I am of high intelligence. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. 100%. Thank you for the opportunity, Uncle Becky. Scruff these Jordans. You can say hate me. You can call me crazy, but don't touch my truck skirt. Scruff these Jordans. You can say you hate me. You can call me crazy, but touch my truck. What on B? What? I don't know if that was even close, but that was like breaking my brain a little bit. Who needs tears? Love to you, friend. I see you. Thank you for joining. Enjoy it. Now I don't have to do. Now I don't know what to do with my time. Yeah, Lane, that is gonna definitely be something to adjust to. But I'm sure you got this. Enjoy it, friend. Sings dumb ways to die melody, but it's young, dumb, and broke. And I wanted to like go for it, like I was gonna go for it, and then I was like, I'm not. No, I'm like this whole stream was about God says yes. So if I'm gonna be like singing to God, to the universe, to source, to you right now, I'm definitely not gonna be singing about being young, dumb, and broke. Hell no. Oh, me? No. Wealthy, yes. Of infinite age, surely. High intelligence, 100%. Yes? Yes. Yes? Yes? You wanna come here? Wanna come here? Wanna come here? Silly thing. Thanks, Siobhan. Thank you, Lane, for letting us see you at the bay, for sharing some love with us, for just being in this moment, man. Play through the music, Mel, the music, son. I tried to, Uncle Becky. I tried to get into the rhythm of it. Emma is headed to the state solo ensemble competition. State solo and ensemble competition. I have absolutely no idea what any of those words mean. Ensemble. Like I see a get together. Melt is like you're like halfway there. I just do not know what the people are doing that have gotten together. State solo. I mean, like for some reason, I'm just imagining this glorified depiction of each state, as a person. Like they represent the state, and then they like do like fucking I don't this is so horrible. Monster truck jumps with motorcycles, and then they do like a hot dog eating competition. And then afterwards they do like a dance off and maybe like ride a bull and maybe shoot guns. Like you're like, Melt, do you want to be burned at the stake? Maybe. Maybe. I'm just joking, right? Like it's for some reason state solo, like that is the fractal my mind came up with. I don't know what a state solo is, but like what would a whole state do solo to show its prowess as a state? Oh goodness, I feel horrible. State solo ensembles is pretty big. Good luck. Thank you for that. Lane is sending good luck to Emma. It's a music competition sort of thing that you play for the judges and get a grade. Okay, almost like a Got Talent type of thing, right? You know, you sing, we judge you. Good luck indeed. I chickened out every time solo ensemble comps came up. Mariah, and here we have, Emma living into that fractal, at least doing it. I never did solo ensembles, and I definitely don't regret it. But it's really a cool experience. People, that's the thing, really. Like being able to see people, being able to see what people come up with, being able to experience the fractal of people's like creations. That is the real sickness of it, right? At least that's what I think is it should be the coolest part. Like I can still kind of imagine myself, shaking at the knees, having to stand in front of many people again. But yeah, I feel it. Emma gonna do great. She is getting the sawmill base together, Gobsons. The getting is good. I'll be getting enough iron for two. Perfect. Thank you for the bear. I love you, Mel. That is hilarious. I think I worded it confusingly. It's perfect. Thank you. Thank you for being with me in the little exploration of a fractal. If the laborer didn't take the smallest portion of the profit, that is no longer capitalism, though, Mel. Capitalism dictates that a business must increase profits by any means, which means paying laborers the least amount of possible. So, what is the opposite? Or what you're gonna chat about some Marcus theory, my guy? I'm here for it, dude. This is how we learn. This is how I actually gain the ability to talk about these things. If I didn't talk about these things, I wouldn't grow the little fractals of experience. So, thank you. Please do keep talking to me about them. Okay. So what's the alternative? Like what are we striving towards if capitalism is not the answer? Are we going to have to create something new? I feel like that is one of the big things as well. The fact that we have created this narrative that it has to be one or the other. Again, balance. It's a spectrum of the infinity, and that infinity is a oneness. It's not the red versus the blue, it is the red and the blue, two sides of the same infinity, and we can integrate both sides. We can create a new world. Here's another one. We got to chat about it. Crypto, but Crypotoken and Bakunin are fun too. Straight over my head. You are so right. Like I don't even know what any of those things mean, so please do educate me as well. We aim to keep Haywire Hill free of politics. That is true, Joel. That is true. But Dan has been here before Haywire Hill. Joel, like Dan has been around, dude. Like Dan is like VIP member. We should make a space for Dan if he wants to sit down. If Dan wants to sit down and talk about capitalism. Fuck yeah, dude. Let's sit down and talk about capitalism. I'm gonna give him the space as well. Applies to the economics of labor as well. Does that lead to political discussions? It could. It could, but maybe one day we'll be expected to have political discussions as well, Joe. Like it's not that we avoid politics, we just don't lament about politics, right? Like we're not going to be the type of people that are like, oh, the government, isn't it horrible? Over and over again, creating just more turmoil. Like it's usually something that we talk about, we'll express some sort of dissatisfaction, and then we'll move past it. Like we don't perpetuate. I'm asking you, and we're asking each other. We could both give answers. I would posit it is more theorizing than political per se. I think so as well. Conversations can quickly shift, so it's forewarning. That's true. That's the nature of these streams as well. Can't be responsible if someone wants to drive the convo in that direction. I'm talking about liberating people, which does strike me as political, and that's technically my job as well. Dan, I'm here to liberate people. I'm here to show people that there is a way of living into their own power and how changing themselves, believing in themselves can change everything, change their entire worlds. So I'm here for it. I think collectivism is the alternative to capitalism. The labor is directly tied to the laborer. Yes, collectivism sounds like unity to me. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, my friend. You're fine. Yes, you are. Balance doesn't exist between two things that are completely distinct. You can have capitalism and post-capitalism. You can't have capitalism and post-capitalism. You can't have something be both a circle and a square. I get what you're saying, friend. I do get what you're saying. But you can have things encapsulating things smaller than themselves, right? Post-capitalism is technically going to be a square encapsulating the circle. The circle is still going to be there, and the circle is still going to be informing our decisions and the way that we continue forward. The circle doesn't just disappear because we have made a square around it, but there's going to be now more room for growth because of these little square sides that have been added to it. I might be pushing this analogy a little bit, but that is the point I'm trying to make. To realize that we can change, and then in our change, it doesn't have to be something that is just painful. Like, we have the ability to change over decades, and if we start changing now, over the next few decades, the changes we'll make are going to be ones that are actually going to serve us as a species instead of exploiting us as a species. Check it out. Get a solo, get a girl. What about the triangle inside the circle? That's where it comes first. The all is mental, Mariah. As above, so below. Oh, so many of these understandings that we've shared. That they're shareholders. True. Is Boop, you're flirting with Uncle Schmecky again? Y'all better stop before I get my switch. I mean, like, we have someone of a banhammer. Two people probably. Kidding, that was sarcasm. You are loved, friend. Thank you for the love. For sharing. We just have to care about each other and call it out when we see people abused by the system. That's the way. And we're creating more and more systems for that. And we actually have access to communication and, like, oh goodness, the way we're going to use technology in the future is going to be radical when it comes to the empowerment of the individual. A different system than capitalism with needs shareholders true or people abusing the system. It will always happen. There's still going to be people that abuse the system, even if it's a perfect system. All I have to say on this is to take back the world because no one has the right to say they own it. Oh, yeah, that's true. I can't wait till we're all ready for it. It's probably going to happen in our lifetimes, friend. Like, we're probably going to be the ones that realize that. I do have to go and give water back to the infinity because it is calling on me. It's like, give us the water, please. You have been keeping so much water. Give us the water back. And I'll be like, okay, fine. I'm giving you the water back. Wow. Whole new person. What a relief. What a beautiful experience to have relief. You know, Melita like sent me this meme almost where someone like sits at this cosmic restaurant and he orders relief, and then the waiter tells him, "Oh, sorry, sir, we cannot serve you relief without discomfort." And he's like, "Oh, fuck. I really like the relief, but don't really want the discomfort at first, right?" Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. She gotcha. On the note of politics as a topic, politics is just a discussion of how to organize society and therefore applies to everything. Personally, I don't think it's possible to have the rich discourse we have here in the group without it. I don't, I'm not opposed to it either. I don't think I have been ever. It's just we don't perpetuate. We don't hurt ourselves with things that we cannot change. Instead, we talk about the things that we can change ourselves, our experience of the whole, our understanding of this trip of life. That's technically the things we do have control over. And if we can empower ourselves more to experience the fullness of life a little bit more authentically, a little bit more beautifully, actually be happy throughout this experience, then we'll be able to make social, political changes in doing so as well. Fashion is a head mod here and looking out for everyone, all in love friends. That's true. Thank you, 1B. How do people put. Come, come, come here. Oh, you want to sit on my lap? What do you want? What do you want to see, girl? There we go. How do people put emojis mobile? I cannot copy and paste, and there's no button for emojis on PC for some reason. You can right click, and then in that little box that pops up, there should be an emoji button. So you would be able to post emojis, Space Wizard. Prot Kropotkin and Bakunin, last name, or other theorizers in the vein of Marx. Okay, thank you. There we go. The Windows key plus helps as well. Thank you, Uncle Becky. Love thy neighbor is hard. Change is necessary. Thank you. Thank you, friend. Thank you. Like, I'm not pretending like I know all of the answers, but the one answer that I've figured out, after melting away everything I knew, everything I thought I was, everything I thought I was attached to and wanted from this life, the only thing that remained is love. Love was the only truth. And that love not only has to, but it does start from you. Like, if you weren't loving, if your soul wasn't loving, you would not be experiencing right now. But unfortunately, your ego, your story, is like a little layer, a little barrier of information that gets overlaid over what it is you're looking at. And your consciousness, your awareness is looking at that as well. And your consciousness, your awareness is so loving that it will look at that as well. Even though it's horrible. Oh, you're so horrible. Oh, you're so ugly. Oh, you're so overweight. Oh, you're so underweight. Oh, you're so no, 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 no. Oh, you're beautiful right now, but you're gonna get ugly when you get older. It loves you. It loves experience so much that it will even listen to that. And just realizing that we can change that story. That is how we change the world. That is how literally how we change ourselves. Infamous suck. I saw the puppy. Here she is. Isn't she a sweetie patootie? The shootiest of patootiest. Water. We in Pennsylvania. I'm in South Africa, friend. Nice backyard there. It is infamous suck. I'm so happy to be sharing it with you, friends. Thank you for joining me. My fash. Ooh, nice. WB melt relief. I'll take two, please. Changing things requires power. It does. It does, friend. But who told you that you don't have power? Like, I mean, I would like to just be able to take like snippets from it, but the last episode of The G Word or something like that, it's a series on Netflix about the government. The last episode was on change and how little people are actually voting for like small politics, like immediate politics, like the politics of your block or the politics of your town or city. Like nobody cares. Nobody cares, and like the people that want to just kind of like there's either nobody cares, so there's only like a single person running for that position, and the second one is nobody cares, so like there's only like a few votes for that person, and then nobody cares, there's nobody voting against the bad entities or running to be better entities in these like spaces. Government starts with us as people. It's fleshy human beings that happen to be a part of industries, and they do jobs that need to be done, but we can do those jobs. We have that power. We are the ones that have that power. It's all about realizing and, connecting with one another in a way where the people who are already in power change their ethics on how they use that power. What about the scientific fact that capitalism breeds isolation, depression, diversion, anxiety, fear, and starvation? When we live in a system that is eroding our ability to make time and space for our own healing, it becomes quite difficult to focus on the individual when there are so few resources. What a beautiful point that is that you're making. Now, easy, now a world. Like, you're completely right, friend. It's not something that I'm trying to promote in any way, shape, or form. I'm just trying to be aware. I'm trying to be aware of what capitalism has allowed us. Like this this thing that we're experiencing right now, the internet, the ability to broadcast video and audio over the internet, literally almost. I mean, like without capitalism as we know it right now, this wouldn't be this way. It wouldn't be, literally. And you know this. And it's about asking ourselves that question, like the stuff we have, the place that we're in right now, how much can we be grateful for instead of trying to find as much as we possibly can bad with it? You said we shouldn't hurt ourselves of things that we can't change, but that's where you're wrong, Melt. We can change these things. I know, friend. That's what I'm saying as well, which is why I think it's important to discuss them. I agree completely, Brother Bear. Like, I would really appreciate if you would be willing to watch it as well. You can watch the last episode. All of them are pretty good, even though some of them they say some things where I'm like, but it's an Adam Connor Conway like thing, and he used to make these videos for College Humor, I believe, and they were really good back in the day. And that's technically where I had my first introduction with him. He basically talks about the stuff of reality, and like he did this whole show, and the last episode is about that change, like that we as individuals can make that change. So I'm 100% there with you, Dan. I agree completely with the bay. Scream, Sui to make my soul happy. Scream Sui to make my depressed soul happy. I had to add the depressed there, didn't you? I'd rather scream Rah! More powerful than Sui. 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 Wow, wow, wow. There you go, friend. I hope your soul is a little bit happier now. Freaking. Like, it wasn't enough that he had to be me, like, oh, make my soul happy. He had to add the depressed there, just to like add a little bit of spice. Let's see what you can do. Banana Boy, you're loved, friend. And you were seen. You'll be okay. Keep showing up. Keep drinking water. Keep sleeping enough. Keep eating your food. Move your body occasionally. Before you know it, you won't be depressed anymore. You'll be happy to live. You'll be happy to be alive. You'll be able to share beautiful moments with friends and all the rest that comes along with that. We have power over ourselves and we can change ourselves. Living our lives authentically will inspire change around us. It already is. Who needs tears? Thank you for being that. Authentic selves are privileged. Vote locally. There we go. Insomniac. Well, infamous sock. Insomniac. Thank you. Vote locally. Exactly, friend. gone too far for politics, living in and itself is a privileged friend. That is right. Gone for to politics. Yep. I feel you, friends. Oh, I like that. Not sure for everyone. I may be a karmaic punishment. Hmm. There will always be suffering because we create it. Another thing to note, many topics are considered political, are not actually political. They have been politicized in order to attach controversy to them, to shut down, I'm guessing, conversations about them. Hmm. Creating separation narratives, basically, right? Making it so that it's unpleasant to talk about so that no change actually happens because nobody talks about it. You said the internet comes from capitalism, but that's not true. It comes from socialism. The government invented the internet based on a research project. It wasn't capitalism. Now, easy Irono world, if it wasn't for capitalism, I 1000% guarantee you that there would not be towers in my area. I live in the middle of nowhere, dude. There would not be towers in my area, and I would not have that little shuttle pointing towards one of those towers, and I have a little shuttle on that tower pointing back towards our house, and we would not have this internet connection right now. So 100%, friend, this would not be happening if it wasn't for capitalism in the way that it was as well. Like things have a place, you know. That's the thing that I've noticed as well. Like we're so quick to demonize and say that this side of it's like completely wrong. Everything has a role to play, and the role of capitalism is coming to an end. Like we have to step into the new age, but we have to be willing to acknowledge that that age brought some prosperity to our world as well, even though that prosperity has not been fairly distributed for the longest time. I agree with that. Rebirth is not a punishment, rather another opportunity to learn that which alluded to being. Beautifully said. Thank you, Who Needs Tears. Where is everyone watching from? Do let me know. I'm from South Africa. Hey, Eden, thank you for joining us, friends. I have a pretty beach. It's all about perspective that it is. Trying to be an owl. It's not even united. It's not even united at all. Hmm. What a stream. What a stream. God says yes, friends. Huh? Think about the stuff that we talked about today in the context of that understanding. You know, and I feel like that's an important thing to notice in the politics and the way we have power over politics as well. It's like God says yes, you know, voting locally, running locally, making a change locally, exactly where you are. Saying yes to that power, saying yes to that possibility, saying yes to the fact that you have the ability to change your reality with your words, literally. Just by saying things, you can change everything. Every time I try to write out the sound, it comes out as being doing doing. Doing doing. I mean, it's kind of doing doing. I can do doing doing. Such a cute little instrument. It makes me happy. Like something in my soul really rejoices when I get to do that. Beep boop, generating love. Love is true. I mean, 1010100100100100100. She's been sleeping pretty good lately. Knocks on wood. It's me that goes to bed super late. Because when she's sleeping, I try to cram the entire day's worth of getting things done that I finally can. I try to break and watch a movie or relax. Oof, please, please, Eden, give yourself the time you need. Thank you for being a super mom. Thank you for being a mom in general. So much love to you. The internet is not a result of capitalism. It was developed by governments with taxpayer dollars. The internet is an entirely socialist accomplishment. There was the collective that did it. Yeah, it's true. It's true, Dan. But because of capitalism, we have capitalism in South Africa as well. There were people that saw this area as an opportunity, to like make money. And because of that, again, everything we have right now is because of everything that we've done up until this point. If it wasn't for everything we've done up until this point, nothing would be the way it is right now. That is the reality of the fact. And it's that truth is the same for us going forward. We can change the world by changing the way that we see ourselves in the world, by changing the things we want to see in the world, by asking and saying the right things that we want God to say yes to. Adam ruins everything. I feel like that's a show or something. My dad has a new jaw harp for a year, had a jaw harp for years, and has never been able to figure out how to play it. I mean, you have to press it against your teeth. That is the thing that, like, if you do it like this, you press it against your lips, doesn't do jack. But you have to do it against your teeth, and you have to spread your teeth out a little bit so you have like a little gap. So it's a little bit of a visceral mind thing that you have to get past. Such a freaking cute little thing. I love it so much. And apparently, we've been playing those instruments for like some of the longest. Like out of all of the instruments we play, a jaw harp might have been one of the first ones. Like, and just to think of it in the context of how much we've been creating music, all of the humans that might have been sitting around fires playing instruments like that, and I get to like only in part elicit some of that information. Receiving and reciprocating is the way, not to be a stickler, but awareness on the nature of capitalism is essential. I do agree, Brother Bay, but I feel like you have just been sharing like negatives instead of like creating a narrative. Like I feel I haven't been really able to, I haven't learned anything, thus far. Maybe I've learned that the way it's supposed to be seen is the fact that our current infrastructure of the internet is more a socialist construction with the way it can be seen in the context of political systems. So I maybe I've learned that and I'll keep that in mind. But like that's the thing, dude. If we're gonna discuss politics, like we actually have to get some growth out of it. Not being a stickler, there are many places to discuss this topic. It's true on B. It's very true. Like it's important. Where did that instrument originate? I think like it's in every single culture. Interestingly enough, Infamous Sock. Like you'll have to do some research for yourself, but apparently it's in every single culture. Good question. I'm curious as well. Hello, Mel. Mommy's pretty boy. Hey, Eric. It's been a while, friend. How have you been? Have you ever tried a kalimba or pan drum? What is a kalimba? Yes, I have in fact tried a kalimba before, friend. Thank you for asking, Infamous Sock. Not sure if it's true, but I heard this instrument messes up teeth. I'm not. I wouldn't be surprised if it does. On Miss Pretty Boy. I also love how the term local has expanded. Yeah, local is something crazy. Support small businesses. Hmm. Support small businesses indeed. Like a whole fractal of abuse in small businesses came up to me as well in a moment, and I was like, yeah, that also happens. It's people that are the problem, not the businesses. I'm super interested in pan drum. I want to play a pan drum as well, actually, Eden. That's maybe the next one I want to get. Oh, wait till AI is developed. It's coming quick. If you think advertising is manipulative now, imagine something capable of comprehending all human knowledge and able to manipulate people with all understanding of human psychology, operated by its puppet masters. Yeah, SFTEXP. And then imagine you are powerful enough to see it for what it is and not be swept up by that current. You know, which side do you want to have said yes to? Mm-hmm. Right? Like, I know how capable I am to look at advertising and be like, I don't need anything. You don't need anything. It's going to try and tell you what you need, but you don't need anything. Heather, thank you for joining us. I love that very much. It's a small kalimba, but pan drums are so cool too. They really are. I've really been wanting to get one, but it's a bit on the pricey side. Yeah, the pan drums are a little bit expensive for me as well. I think it's important to know where your money is going, what it's funding, what it's supporting. All about supporting small businesses, Boop. Yeah, it's the way we can like make an impact in our immediate, local places as well. And it can be difficult sometimes because convenience is what we're being catered to, and these industries of scale, not only do they know how to do convenience and conveniency when it comes to the efficiency of their delivery systems, but also because they're industries of scale, they get extreme discounts on the bulk prices that they pay for the raw ingredients, so they get to undercut the small businesses as well. And that, Dan, is again a symptom of capitalism, and that is unethical and wrong, which I do agree with. Distribution of wealth, not equal distribution of wealth, but distribution of wealth is going to be essential. Again, Heather, love to you, friend, but on the pricier side, I think it's important. Share some love, even though I'm on your way out. I am, Heather. Thank you for the love. That love is true nonetheless. Joarab's and neat. I try to say words or sing while it's twanging. I've tried to do the same, but I I don't know if it's really the best way to play the instrument is when I just mouthed out, playing it, but it sounds pretty radical, so I'm not sure if I'm right. More ways. Thank you for teaching me between 3 and 20. Heather, so necessary for me. Oh, you have a kalimba? Love it. I do, friend. I've shared a bit of Marxist theory and given a few examples of how capitalism is exploitative. Yeah, but we know that, Dan. We've known that, since we've been 13 years old. We were like, what the fuck's happening? I'm sorry this hasn't helped you to learn anything, Melt. Like, but we know these things, Dan. We know these things, dude. Like, that's literally why I'm doing these streams. That's why I'm doing these streams. Like, this is as much as an anti-capitalist stand as it can be, in the way that I can express myself, if you will. Like, how many times have we talked about being exploited and feeling like that is not the thing we're supposed to do? Me encouraging you, friends, to strategize, to realize a way for you to free yourself from that system, and again, to not trip out about not being able to do it in the next year, 5 years, but to think of it in the context of the next 20, 10 years, 20 years, how much you can realize for yourself. So I'm 100% on board with you, Dan. I just feel like again, if God says yes, what are we saying, Dan? So by saying, oh, the government is exploiting us, oh, capitalism is horrible, God says yes, Dan. That's the point of this whole stream, Brother Bay. So I have learned something. I'm learning right now, as you're learning right now in this moment with me as well. Like, that's the point. But to listen to the things we're saying and to take into consideration that God says yes to whatever it is you're saying. and then realizing that you do have that power. Farmers market all day, the most delicious and nutritious fruit and veg. Sounds good. Huge farmers market near me here. It is so fun. The feeling of a vibe that attracted to me, and it like so many beautiful people because those people want to take care of themselves as well. So, it's a perfect place to get it. I know what you mean. I do sometimes feel welcome if I leave. I think Dan might have left. Like, I'm genuinely feeling so strongly about this. Oh no, he's still here. No, no, it's not. That's not Dan. That's Jovan. I'm sorry. I'm not. I don't mean to be disappointed. I just thought it was the same little, profile pic as Dan's for a second. Jovan, boop. It takes one person to spark interest, to spark the interest in others. You can do. Yes, you can. Thank you. Thank you for that reminder again, Jovan. I really need that. it is. It is about the power we practice, and perpetuating the painful things and like only talking about the painful things and only eliciting the response of the injustices that we see in our world, and then saying that it is so. This is the way it is. And then over and over again, we say, this is the way it is. And then God just listens and is like, yeah, that's the way it is. Why is it this way? Because you keep saying so. You keep telling me that this is the way it is. So I guess you're right. I guess you're right. And then it keeps happening, and it's painful. I'm gonna have to freaking send Dan a message now. Damn it. Damn it, Dan. I didn't want to piss you off. I don't want to be pissed off. But this is the power we have. This is the power we have. I haven't any locally. Maybe we'll start one. That would be so cool. Sell those blackberry jams. That sounds amazing. Ours starts tomorrow morning, and I really want to go with a little fruit cup and banana and the hunt for bee pollen and maybe some jam. Banana loves it. Most fruit and veg isn't in season quite yet. Hopefully soon then. Eden, I hope you get to, do that with your beloved family. Leave healthcare for a new profession. Man says to yes. Issue resolved. I mean, healthcare is going to be for a new profession very soon. On B, the way that we've been doing healthcare has been like analog for the longest time, and we're moving into the age of digital healthcare, basically. You know, changing our actual DNA around the things. Instead of seeing diseases as a problem to be solved, to look at where that disease originated from on a genetic level, and then correcting for that issue on a genetic level, in turn correcting for the disease on the grand level. God says yes, friends. Words manifest good and bad. Yes, it's true, Miss Mouse. And like I cannot unsee that power that we have anymore. It's something that we have to use for the best of our ability now. Hoping Dan is still here. You are love. I don't think he is. I don't think he is. He would have said something by now. But and I felt his absence as soon as I finished talking as well. I was like, oh, he didn't hear any of that. Last time I did go to a market in Austin, they had homemade chocolates with raw bee pollen on it. I actually want to be eating bee pollen as well. Like you get them in like almost like these little granule bits, and apparently it's amazing for your health. I just hope it's sustainable. It's your harp. Adam ruins everything. Isn't Adam con? Oh, Adam ruins everything. Of course. There it comes back to my mind. You're completely right, Shannon. Yeah, where he like kind of like talks about the exploitative nature of like the diamond industry and stuff as well. Friends, thank you for joining me, for sharing this space, for paying attention, for trying to play with this idea that everything you say, God listens and says yes to it. And just to keep that thinking, right? It doesn't even have to be true, but just to use your words with such reverence, to believe in your own words with such like genuine authenticity, and to only choose to say things that you want God to say yes to, right? And we can talk about everything in that way as well. Try to bring the hopeful perspective as much as you can, friend. And I genuinely believe that if we keep doing that, the hopeful future, the future we hope for, will literally become manifest. Love you, friends. This I do. Love you. Thank you so much for joining me, for sharing these moments with me. I love you. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Goodbye, everyone. Adam ruins everything. Have a great day. Love you all, Melton friends. Love you, Shannon. Love you, friends, joining in here on the YouTube still. So much love to you. Whew, we're powerful. We are powerful. Powerful enough that I'm gonna share some kalimba vibes just like for a moment. Love you. This stream has been very melancholic, and I'm trying to think why. Maybe I said a few things, I was like leaning into this fractal, this understanding that we shared today. And I feel I might have, you know, plucked a few strings too many. Because Dan is angry right now. I can feel it. He feels separate. Ah, Mariah, Shannon, and Jovan. I really do enjoy listening to you play that. I enjoy playing it, Shannon. I look forward to having, I'm going to upgrade and get like these little wireless microphones, and then I'll actually be able to do it in a relatively convenient way, if that's the way to say, to like actually clip a little microphone to my kalimba. I'll be able to, sit in the distance. We can watch some sunsets or sunrises.
It's so donker.
Ja, dus. Ik ga nou mijn stream klaarmaken. Love you, Melody fam. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow, friends. Have an amazing day. Even mama. Pippi is like, what? Oh, high def tunes. Yeah, high def tunes. I'm looking forward to being able to share it in that way, Shannon. Like, I also plan on adding another microphone. If I don't add it to myself, adding another microphone like to a tree or something to get like the nature noises in. I have plans, but they will realize when they're supposed to. I love you, friends. We are powerful. Speak words you want to have manifest. Speak words you want to have manifest. Speak words you want to have manifest. I want you to be the most abundant, the most loving, the most generous, the most receiving, the most wonderful being that this planet has ever seen. Every single person that meets you will have this genuine sense of this person loves me. God says yes. Yes. Love you, friends. See you again tomorrow.